Happy Thursday, everybody. It's Andrew from Fantasy 8 here to give you Tap the Wire for next week. Some really interesting players to talk about today. Now, obviously, the first guy I'm going to mention was called up today. I don't know if he was called up today, but he said, Ken Rosenthal said he will be called up, and that's Willson Contreras. I don't know. Would you pronounce that Willson with two L's? I was actually searching for him to pick him up, and I couldn't find him, and I was typing in Willson with one L. And I was wondering why it wasn't showing up, and then I looked it up. Oh, he's got two L's. That's a really weird spelled name, but with the catcher position being so bad, this is a guy you have to take a look at if he's available. I don't know where the playing time's going to come because the Cubs are going to be carrying three catchers. I would think Montero would lose most of the time. If you look at his minor league numbers, they're insane. The catcher position's just been terrible, so he needs to be owned in just about every league. Number 2, surprise entry, Kolten Wong. I don't know if anyone's been following him since his demotion, but he's been tearing up AAA, playing center field. As he's gone 10 for 24, 4 home runs, and 4 walks. But they have been playing him in center field now. This is bad news for Randall Grichuk, but Wong might be back sooner than later. Jered Eickhoff. I was surprised at how low his percentage drop. Now, I think I dropped him in a couple public leagues too. He had that 5 really bad game stretch, and I thought maybe he's not the guy I thought he was, but Eickhoff is back. He needs to be owned in more than 50% of leagues, more than 70% of leagues. He's had 2 good starts in a row, and those aren't two, like Chicago Cubs and the Toronto Blue Jays, so those were not easy assignments for Eickhoff. He gave up 1 run combined in those 2 games with 13 Ks in 13 innings. Go pick up Eickhoff. Then, of course, we got Jon Gray. He has the same percentage ownership as Eickhoff, 41.4% ESPN, which is higher. I think people are looking at his stat line and like, oh, he's got a 4.7 ERA. I don't want to get him. All those runs were front-loaded really early in the season, especially in a 9-run game against the St. Louis Cardinals. He's been amazing the last 4 or so games. In his last 2 games, 14 innings, 3 runs, 19 Ks. This guy has ace stuff. He needs to be owned like an ace. And then number 5, we got Leonys Martin. He's back off the DL, 32% owned in Yahoo, 23.2 in ESPN. Especially in roto leagues, he needs to be owned. He'll give you a good power-speed combo. I don't think he'll hit as many home runs as he did earlier in the season, but the speed's real. And if you need some cheap steals, he's a guy to look at over someone like the Royals outfielder. Name escapes my mind. Jered Eickhoff. I would much rather have Martin over Dyson. Time to get out of the binoculars because it's time for watch list players. You got Tyler Glasnow. We already had Tyon up. Glasnow. Tyon, if he's also available, he'd be a guy to pick up. But we're still waiting on Glasnow. Brandon Moss has 15 home runs this season. The playing time isn't consistent, but if anything opens up there, he should be owned, especially in roto leagues. And then O makes the list again, even though Rosenthal hasn't been as bad. I still feel like O could be the closer before the end of the season. So that is it for this week's. Tune in next Thursday for another Tap the Wire. Good luck with your pickups and good luck with next week. For Fantasy 8, I'm Andrew.